Do you ever feel like you can never make enough progress no matter how much effort you put into things? Many times, this feeling is actually completely wrong and it comes from bad perspective and unrealistic expectations. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to see things right so you can overcome that feeling that nothing that you do is ever good enough and you can learn to be satisfied with your progress. Hi, I'm Mike Schmitz and I help busy people be more productive and creative. And I used to suffer from this myself. In fact, I still do from time to time. No matter how much I was able to get done, it never felt like enough. It never happened fast enough. Maybe you can relate. I used to beat myself up for not being able to achieve my goals like I wanted to. And then one day, a friend of mine introduced me to this concept called the gap versus the gain by Dan Sullivan. And this is a mental model that helped me realize this feeling is actually completely normal. And it helped me to look at my situation from a healthier perspective. Now, the truth is, every single one of us has some idea, whether vague or specific, of what our ideal future looks like, a vision that drives us. But if you're constantly looking at that ideal future, you can find yourself discouraged by the fact that you never seem to get there, or at least you don't get there as fast as you think you should. Like I said, this is actually completely natural. We tend to compare our current situation against that ideal, which results in us getting discouraged by how far we have to go. When we measure where we are right now against where we want to be like this, it causes us to lose motivation and stop taking action because you feel like you can't make the progress you want, so what's the point? And this distance between your current situation and your ideal future is known as the gap. Now, the problem with focusing on the gap is that it's like the point on the horizon where the train tracks come together. You can chase it your entire life. And the further you move towards it, the further away it seems to be. So even if you're successful, you'll never be successful in your own mind. But you don't have to look at things this way. There's another healthier way to look at your situation. Instead of measuring against that impossible standard that you'll never achieve fast enough to make your brain happy, you can compare your current situation against where you started. And when you use your starting point as a frame of reference, it's much easier to see your progress as you focus on the gain. And this is how other people tend to look at us, but we have trouble looking at ourselves this way. But if you can teach yourself to focus on that gain, you will be motivated, satisfied, and confident. When you look at the gain, you're able to see how far you've actually come, and that creates the momentum that you need to keep going. The gain helps you realize that real growth is about progress, not perfection. And this is one of the reasons that I generally dislike goals. Goal setting tends to naturally reinforce a gap mindset. Habits and routines are much better vehicles for creating significant lifestyle change, and there's one habit in particular that is essential for embracing a gain mindset, which is journaling. Journaling forces you to think about what actually happened instead of just chasing the carrot at the end of the goal stick that is dangling in front of you. It forces you to reflect on what you accomplished and brings your focus back to the reality that you are, in fact, making some significant strides. In addition to helping you gain perspective in the moment, being able to look back at your previous journal entries is an invaluable resource for measuring your personal growth. It gives you signposts that can serve as reminders of important memories and valuable lessons in your quest to reach your full potential. It's easy to miss the small changes that are happening constantly on a day-to-day basis, but when you look back at some of your old journal entries, it can help you gain perspective and it can show you just how far you've really come. And often it just takes a different perspective to achieve those goals that may seem just beyond your reach. The right perspective gives you the motivation that you need to show up every day and put in the consistent effort to make that dream a reality, even if it doesn't happen quite as fast as you think maybe it should. So the next time you're feeling discouraged about your lack of progress, flip the script. Look at the gain instead of the gap. Give yourself a break because chances are that you've done quite a bit already that's worth taking a moment to celebrate.